Are you ready to take control of your wealth and design the life you envision for yourself and your family? Welcome to Wealth of Insight with Austyn Whittenburg from Whittenburg Wealth Partners. Austyn guides you through the entire planning process to help you build a plan that seeks to protect your financial future. He empowers you with creative investment opportunities and planning ideas to help you understand and achieve your long-term goals. It's time to gain confidence in your financial future. Now, onto the show.
All right, welcome back to the Wealth of Insight podcast. Today, I thought we'd talk a little bit about questions you should be asking your financial advisor if you're currently working with one, or if you're not working with one as you're interviewing advisors. These are the types of questions you want to know to make sure that you're really choosing the right person to work with. So we'll get right into it. The first is, why are you or why are they a financial advisor? That's something I think is really important to get the backstory and the sort of how they've ended up here and what maybe other value they're bringing to the profession. And some of that leads into the second question, which is, what do you do exactly, right? Financial advisor can mean a lot of things to a lot of different people. And there's a lot of ways to approach the advisor, to approach being a financial advisor. You know, maybe that's someone that focuses primarily on life insurance. Life insurance is great. If you need life insurance, they could be a great person to work with. But if you're looking for truly comprehensive advice, you know, maybe just that insurance approach isn't the right fit. Or maybe they're just a investment manager. You know, in our world, there are stockbrokers, people who are going to buy and sell stocks. And if that's what you're looking for, there's people out there to help you with that. Or maybe there's what are called money managers, which is, hey, how much risk are you willing to take? And what types of assets, stocks, bonds do you want to invest in? Great, here's a portfolio. We'll see in a year to come back and check in on it. Or are they someone that's doing comprehensive financial planning, giving you advice on all areas of your life, investments, insurance, taxes, estate planning, and all of the above, right? And so really what you're looking for in the advisor will determine which person's going to be the best fit based on, you know, what advice you're looking for. The next question would be, what is your investment philosophy? You know, there are whether that's, hey, we use low cost index funds, we use actively managed mutual funds, or someone who maybe is what I would call a tactical manager, someone who's hopping in and out of the market, trying to time them. Understanding their investment philosophy is really going to help you determine, you know, how comfortable you are with that relationship and make sure that you understand how your investments are working. Others may be more strategic, meaning, hey, we set this allocation of stocks and bonds, maybe some real estate or other things, and we stick with that allocation in the long run. You want to make sure you have a good understanding of how your investments, how your money is going to be invested, you know, and really looking for that full transparency so you can see what's happening along the way. Another really important question to ask, I feel, and maybe I'm a little biased here because I am a CFP or certified financial planner. So one of the things you want to ask them is what sort of continuing education you do and what sort of credentials do you have? There's a number of financial credentials out there. But the CFP is sort of the industry standard for the most comprehensive approach to financial planning and to the education in this industry. There's some training that CFPs go through in all the various areas. Again, there are other credentials out there that are important and are valuable. One is a CHFC, that's a chartered financial consultant. You know, your CPA or tax person should have their CPA license. There's AIF, which is accredited investment fiduciary. So it's a little more specific to investments. So there's a number of different, sometimes you're referred to as sort of the alphabet soup, right? When you look at someone's business card and they've got the whole alphabet on the end. But the CFP really stands out as sort of the gold standard in the industry for the most well-rounded and comprehensive approach to financial planning. Another really important question to ask is how the advisor gets paid. Do they charge hourly? Are they commission-based? Do they sell products and earn commissions that way? Or are they fee-based, right? And again, each person may have a different structure and reasons why. You want to find the type of compensation that, you know, is the most comfortable for you. Most commonly now is fee-based, where there's just a flat fee on your investment total assets under management with that advisor. That's, the industry is really shifting that way. And that's the way we charge. And that's the way I really feel comfortable. We feel like that puts us on the same side of the table as the client, because if their investment accounts go up, our compensation goes up as well. So we are that fee-based, but there's a number of ways that the advisor can get paid. And you want to make sure you really have a good understanding of how they're getting paid. Okay, so the next question that you really want to ask is, are you independent? So there's a lot of different financial advisor firms out there, a lot of ways that advisors can affiliate with firms. And you want to make sure, at least in my opinion, you want to make sure you're working with an independent advisor. Now, that doesn't mean that they're just totally out on their own, not affiliated with any large companies, but what it means is they're not going to have any quotas or any, strict guidelines or products that they have to use. So for us, we're affiliated with LPL as our broker dealer and Stratus Wealth Partners as our RIA. So those are large companies, big, well-known companies, but they don't place rules or restrictions on the types of investments we can use, or we don't have to sell a certain amount of this investment or another to meet certain objectives. So you want to make sure you're working with someone who's not under an umbrella, who's sort of directing the type of investments or products that they can put in front of you. And that goes a little bit into another really important question, which is, are you a fiduciary, right? So with the CFP designation that we have, we act as fiduciaries for our clients. And what that means is we have to do what's in our client's best interest, not necessarily what's in our best interest or from a compensation perspective, right? You want to make sure you're working with someone who's really focused on doing what's in your best interest. We have sort of a saying we mention all the time, but if you take care of the people, the money will take care of itself. And that's really the way we approach things. And that fiduciary responsibility is something we take that's really important to us, that we make sure we're taking that very seriously. And we want to make sure that our clients know that when we're placing products or talking about investments or whatever type of advice we're giving, we're doing that really with that client focused and doing what's in their best interest. Once you've sort of got a handle for how the advisor works, how they're paid, a little bit about their personality, maybe you want to ask them, hey, are you a dog or a cat person? Some of those kind of things, that are maybe a little more for reference. I'm a dog person. But, once you've got a good sense for how they're paid, what their sort of high level investment philosophy and structure will be, and you're comfortable with that, then you can start getting a little more into the details. Maybe it's, how can I expect the planning process to go? How many meetings is this going to take? What type of questions are you going to ask me? What sort of information do we need? And then if I do choose to hire you, you want to ask, how often will we communicate? What does the communication look like between the two of us? Maybe it's, what benchmarks are you using to track investments? Or how can I be the best type of client, right? So when we're getting to the end of our first meeting with clients and they've chosen to engage us, we have a conversation about, hey, here's how this can be the most successful, right? So figure out, when you're sitting down with an advisor, ask them how can you be the best type of client, right? We really want this to be a highly collaborative relationship with our clients. And so we want that sort of two-way communication. And so it's, how often will you communicate with me? What does that look like? How often do we need to meet? Right? You want to know how frequently you should be meeting. And again, finding the right fit for you. Some clients, if you're a client that wants a lot of high touch and a lot of meetings, you want to make sure the advisor is aware of that and comfortable with that. Or if you're like, hey, we just need to meet once a year, those are the types of questions you want to be asking when you're working with someone, to make sure that proper expectations are set and that you're finding the person that's the right fit for you. So, this was a quick episode today, but I wanted to make sure those are the things you should be asking. I wanted to make sure people, and clients had a good understanding of, if you're working with an advisor, these are the things you should know. These are the things that I think are really important to know. And it's going to help you have the most successful relationship with your advisor. Right? Too often, it's clients aren't changing advisors. This is some industry statistics, but clients aren't changing advisors because of high fees or bad investment performance or those kind of things. They're typically changing advisors because there was bad expectations set up front about the type of service and communication, or they're not getting the level of communication that they need. So you can really set yourself up for a successful relationship with your advisor if you ask some of these things on the front end so that everybody knows what's going to be the best fit. So, quick again today, but I wanted to make sure, I felt like that was important to get out there. So if you have any questions or if you want to ask me these questions, right, or have other questions, please check out our website, wittenbergwealth.com, or you can text me at 801-839-7056. Please remember to subscribe to the Wealth of Insight podcast and share with your friends and family.
Thank you for listening to the Wealth of Insight podcast. Click the subscribe button below to be notified when new episodes become available. Securities offered through LPL Financial, member FINRA SIPC. Investment advice offered through Stratos Wealth Partners, a registered investment advisor. Stratos Wealth Partners and Whittenburg Wealth Partners are separate entities from LPL Financial. The information covered and posted represents the views and opinions of the guest and does not necessarily represent the views or opinions of Whittenburg Wealth Partners. The content has been made available for informational and educational purposes only. The content is not intended to be a substitute for professional investing advice. Always seek the advice of your financial advisor or other qualified financial service provider with any questions you may have regarding your investment planning.